Hey friends, and I'm doing a Facebook Live to talk with you guys about the COVID-19 update that's in the public charge rules that the government updated today on its website. So I'm going to speak briefly about that update because it's very timely and important, and I'm going to try my best with it. It's written really poorly. This video is for those of you out there who have been following me. You know me, I'm attorney Latoya McBean Pompey, and I'm also the founder of Smart Immigration Academy. I'm an immigration lawyer in New York. And with that being said, let's go right to it. So the first topic that I'm going to cover is some updates related to the COVID-19 virus. Some important updates have been coming out through my association. The American Immigration Lawyers Association has been updating us quite a bit on what's going on with respect to how things are being addressed related to this COVID-19 virus. And so the first update that I want to share with you actually comes from them. And what they alerted us today, I believe, is that consular offices across the world have been putting up on their websites, they've been updating the public on their websites about some fact that their services are being reduced in terms of interviews that they had scheduled for visa issuance and all of that. Things are changing with them, obviously, right? They're adjusting to the policies from the government that they're located in with respect to, being quarantined and all of those kinds of things. And so the embassies around the world, they are putting up updates on their website to let you guys know that they're reducing or they're temporarily suspending issuing visas. So whatever country you are in or your relative is in, and they're going through the visa process, whether it's the immigrant visa process or non-immigrant visa process, they should definitely check the embassy website for updates on how that embassy is operating. And then also the State Department has this great resource that I looked at tonight as well. It's a table of all the countries around the world, and it provides information about how many cases of the virus has been identified and other health concerns, public health concerns that folks need to be aware of. And so I'm going to put a link to that table so that you could check out whatever country your relative is in or country that you're planning on traveling to, just so that you're aware of what's going on in the country with respect to the virus and how the U.S. Embassy is responding to the virus in that country. So that's a really great resource. And then next, friends, is the public charge issue with respect to COVID-19. I have to be very careful here because I know that this video is going to get a lot of views on YouTube. So I'm going to be very careful here. And I have in front of me, just so you know, I have in front of me the government's alert. It's their alert on this issue. And so with respect to public charge, the big point that the government is trying to make in this alert, firstly, is that it does not want to restrict people's access to getting tested or screened for COVID-19. It doesn't want to put a chilling effect because, as you guys know, the receipt of certain public benefits, such as federally funded Medicaid, right, and some other public benefits, can cause a person to be labeled as a public charge. And as a result, that person may not be able to get a green card approval or an immigrant visa approval or even a non-immigrant visa approval. And it also impacts those who are trying to change their status or extend their stay in the US. So it's very far-reaching, as you guys know. And some governors, I believe last week, were trying to get the government to suspend public charge implementation until this public health crisis has been lifted. But that has not happened. And so the government put out this alert here, and they're letting us know, firstly, that it does not want people to stay away from getting treatment and testing and all of that if they're experiencing symptoms related to COVID-19. That's what it said in the very beginning of this policy alert. So it says if you're experiencing any of those flu-like symptoms related to COVID-19, you should go ahead and get tested, get screened, and get treatment, right? The second thing that this policy alert talks about is, and it's going to get a little contradictory here, so bear with me. I know you guys are really smart because I deal with you guys all the time and you catch everything, and I love that about you. So this is going to sound very contradictory, what I'm going to read here, but for the most part, what the government is also saying is that they will not consider testing, treatment, nor preventative care once a vaccine becomes available. They will not consider any of that related to COVID-19 as part of the public charge determination. So it's saying that on the one hand, and even if the treatment is paid for by one or more of the public benefits, such as Medicaid, that's listed in their list of programs that fall under public charge. So it's saying that it will not consider the testing, the treatment, nor preventative care related to COVID-19 as part of a public charge inadmissibility determination. However, because when you're dealing with the government, you know that there's always a however. However, they are saying here that they will, however, consider any receipt of, if a person received cash assistance, cash and non-cash public benefits, including those that may be used to obtain testing or treatment for COVID-19, they will consider that in a public charge inadmissibility determination. So, you know, the experts will have to weigh in here and really explain to us the difference between the two clauses that I just read here, because it's very, to me, it's contradictory. So the biggest takeaway that I want you guys to understand with respect to this new alert is what the government then says, right, in its alert. And I'm going to put a link to this alert so that you guys can read it for yourself, because at the towards the very end of the alert, the government talks about the fact that if you are, well, you know, you're the alien, right? It refers to those who have not been born in the US as an alien, right? So if you're an alien and you're living in a jurisdiction in which certain preventative methods or policies are in place, like being quarantined or social distancing, and you're in an area where your employer has to shut down operations for a period of time, schools out, university has to be shut down, and all of those preventative policies are in place. And if you're impacted in a negative way because of those policies that are not to your fault, no fault of yours, right? If your employer says to you, actually, we're going to be shut down for the next 2 weeks and you're not going to be working and you're obviously not going to be paid unless your employer extends that benefit to you for you to be paid during the time that you're not there working and they're shut down. So the alert says, if you are subject to any of those circumstances over the next, I guess, few weeks or so, we'll see how long this lasts. The government says that if you receive benefits, like any public benefits that's part of public charge, it will actually consider that. When it's looking at your green card application or visa application, it will consider your receipt of those benefits within the totality of circumstances. Because remember, again, the new analysis under public charge is the totality of circumstances. So it says that, you know, we're required to look at the fact that you've received benefits, these benefits, and we understand that you may have received these benefits because your employer had to shut down, your school had to shut down, or whatever the circumstances are, you were quarantined, or you had to do social distancing and all of that. We understand that you had to go through that, but what you now need to do is submit a letter of explanation or a statement of explanation to us so that we understand that that's the reason why you took out those benefits, why you got the benefits. you have to submit some sort of explanation and provide proof that I was unemployed for 3 weeks or 1 month because my employer shut down and I couldn't work, or my kid's school is, closed and we don't have childcare, so I was out of work for a month. And during that time, I had to go on certain, I was qualified for certain benefits because I live in a state that does provide benefits to someone like me. And so those benefits are on that public charge list. And I know it's an inadmissibility problem, but I received it here. But here's the reason why. And here's some proof, some evidence that I was out of work or my kid's school had shut down. You have to put all of that together and submit it with your application to the government. So that's how they've ended this alert. They said that you've got to provide an explanation for why you received those benefits, if those benefits were related to, if you received those benefits because of the public health crisis. Those are the main points, friends, from this alert. I know it's a lot, I've said a lot, and I'm going to provide the links to the alert as well as the State Department's list of embassy, updates and all of that, so that you can check if it's relevant to you, check the table and see what they have to say. And as this alert becomes clearer to us, the government, I think, need to do a better job explaining what some of this really means, because it was poorly written and very, very, very confusing. So I would love to follow what they have to say over the next few days as they try to explain this alert, because it's kind of contradictory. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.